Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Ballad of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop us a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys, it goes a massive way to helping out the channel too. Now, this week we are on issue 67 of good old Stormbringer magazine, and it is a new day for more Stormcast Eternal kind of reinforcements. We get the Stormcast good old Vanquishers. I like these guys, big kind of massive sword wielding Stormcast, pretty cool, and obviously they're the newer armour, so they fit in with the new edition of Age of Sigmar when that comes out and such like. As per with a lot of the other Stormcast Eternal ranges from the newer sets from like the 3rd generation onwards, they do have some slight build options, so there are alternative heads and stuff like that, so you can have them with a helmet or without a helmet with in a lot of cases, and there are a couple of extra little tiny bits and pieces as well, so you can change who has which pauldron and such like. So yeah, pretty good stuff. I do really like these. So you get 5. Obviously, if you're buying a box of these from GW, you get 10. So if you're able to pick up 2 copies of this issue, 20 quid is far better than the like £32.50 or 35 quid or whatever these are. So yeah, really good value for money. Fantastic units as well, and yeah, I don't think I can really say too much more positive stuff about them. Genuinely, some of the minis I've been looking forward to, so really good stuff, and I've been meaning to get them for years, so I'm very happy. Now, of course, going into this week's issue, we are first greeted by the Realm of Life, a verdant history. The history of the Realm of Ghyran is a history of creation and of death. Like the Circle of Life itself, the realm has been through periods of decline and periods of renewal. The mortal creatures who live within its confines are subject to these seasons of change, just as they are subject to their own mortality. During the Age of Myth, Alarielle was awoken by Sigmar as he travelled the realms. In her loneliness, she planted the soul pods from which the first Sylvaneth emerged. The Sylvaneth formed into different factions called Glades, and they spread throughout the realm, nurturing the wild and tending to the realm. Obviously, in that time, humans, elves, and stuff like that started thriving Ghyran, and it became quite a place of prosperity until, in all honesty, Chaos came along, and Nurgle has a thing for Ghyran because, you know, he is the god of decay and such like. So pretty cool. Ghyran is one of the more interesting realms as well because it has some of the bigger beasts, and some of the more interesting kind of beasts and the supernatural beasts. So for instance, if you the book Dark Harvest is set in Ghyran and is really good, and definitely worth a read. So it's a proper kind of classic horror style story as well. So you also get more information about Alarielle's forces routed and what happened during the Age of Chaos to them, and the Season of War and such like as that, when the Age of Sigmar began. So pretty cool stuff, and some really cool artwork as well, including of Alarielle herself. Moving on though, we get our page for the Vanquishers. So obviously you can give them their heroic origins. You can have a musician if you wish to, and a banner bearer. There are alternate builds, so you don't necessarily have to have them. You can kind of change it around a little bit if you wanted to, but it's entirely up to you. You can give them their unit name, traits, and such like, as per usual. Pretty good stuff. Moving on though, we have our build guide. So in all honesty, the Stormcast are generally kind of easy-ish to build. These ones have quite a few parts to them and a few extra little bits and pieces, so you can kind of make them. Obviously you make a Vanquisher Prime. If you're getting 2 lots of these, you wouldn't have 2 Vanquisher Primes, you just have the one. So there is an alternative way to build that one and carry on. And obviously you can do your standard bearer, your musician and such like, and have a bit of fun with it, and it's up to you if you go helmeted or non-helmeted. Entirely up to you. Personally, if you're going to go non-helmeted, I will always recommend doing the head separate from the body. So for instance, if I grab this one, I have got the head on basically a paper clip for a mini, which is one of the Wildercorp's hunters, and I will paint the head separate from the actual body, just to make it easier and get that nice bit of detail in there, because otherwise it can look a bit rubbish. Anywho, enough talking about painting heads. Obviously, the build guide's very, very straightforward. When you're done, you're going to have 5 awesome Stormcast Eternals with brilliant great swords, which look absolutely fantastic and look like they are ready to just start swinging and mowing down their enemy, which is always really, really cool. Then we move on to our paint section. So our paint section is fairly generic. So obviously for the Stormcast Eternals, they are a generic army, in all honesty. It is entirely up to you if you are painting through this scheme. If you want to have the entirety of your army following through and kind of carrying on with the theme that you currently have been painting, go for the same scheme. So whether you're going for, good old Hammers of Sigmar, the Anvil Hearts, or whatever, it is entirely up to you. Paint it how you want to paint it, have a bit of fun, and enjoy your minis. That is the main thing. But, whatever you do, I mean, painting is not a chore. So painting, you can have a bit of fun with it, take your time with it, just enjoy it. If you are painting up loads at once, it can be a bit meh, but you need to kind of do them in small batches, then paint something for fun in between. These are my kind of weird little tip. So for instance, I will paint a handful of Stormcast and then I'll paint some squigs, because squigs are very easy to paint and are quite a bit of fun at the same time. When you are done though, generally you're going to have something looking like this. Personally, for the gold armour, I don't like too much of the edge highlighting with the Stormhost Silver. I think it can be toned down a little bit and it looks better for it, but it is always your mini. At the end of the day, it is entirely up to you how you want to go about doing it. Moving on though, we have our War Scroll for the Vanquishers. Obviously, some of these stats may change with the new edition of Age of Sigmar coming out later this year. It is what it is. Obviously, if you are going to be playing now though, you are going to want this because it gives you all your details, which is the main thing. So, if you are going to have 2 of the sets of Vanquishers as well, one model can be a Vanquisher, in each one can be a champion, 1 in every 10 can be a standard bearer, and 1 in every 10 can be a musician. So you can't have 2 standard bearers, 2 musicians, so you have to build them separately if you're going to go through multiple, when I'm not hitting everything and anyway. But yeah, really, really good stuff, and yeah, you'll have some really good fun with it. I'm absolutely sure with it. You get your War Scroll tutorials as per usual as well, how to utilise their roles, and the musician role especially within there, so and how that works. And also we have our battle plan. So Flame and Fury, Flaming Forest. Blah. So, as per usual, 3 heroes, 5 troops. From either faction, whether you're going for destruction or whether you're going for order. Entirely up to you. Have a bit of fun. But, fairly straightforward battle map. So, you got your 3 objectives in the middle and you're going from one side to the other. It's just basically smashy really with it. So, head to head. A little bit more than anything, and there is also a special rule to do with flaming arrows, so don't forget that as well. Obviously you can do your usual adding your units if you wish to as well to keep track of everything, but otherwise that's pretty much it for this issue. So fairly straightforward, not a lot going on with this issue. It feels a little bit kind of lackluster, but it is what it is. You get these issues every now and then, don't we? So otherwise though, next week we have our first Iron Jaws mini. We have the Orruk Mega Boss, which is pretty cool with that big massive skull kind of strapped to his shoulder. Obviously the Iron Jaws are very, very different from our Crawl Boys, so they're a bit more kind of hench and muscular and dumb brute strength and such like, so they have a whole different range of tactics and a very different aesthetic as well. They do generally like big massive cleavers, big massive axes to just kill, maim, destroy, everything like that. Then in issue 69 we get more of a domicile shell, so more scenery to go with everything. Genuinely, I do quite like the scenery. I think it's pretty decent, so it's not a bad thing really, so happy days. And that's it. So a fairly straightforward issue, not a lot going on. Obviously, if you're interested, the next edition of Age of Sigmar is going to be coming up in the near future. They keep on adding more bits and pieces, but I won't be covering everything. But anyway, I will, or may, have a video, maybe a post, I don't know yet. But otherwise, I am going to talk because UK Games Expo is coming up this weekend, going from Friday to Sunday at the NEC. I am going to be there one of the days, and yeah, who knows what I'm going to buy. Weirdly enough, Warhammer's not there, which seems a bit weird because I've been there every other time I've been. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye bye now.